Chosen one, anchor your spirit to every word I am about to speak. That restlessness you have been carrying, the one that does not have a name yet, stop running from it. The Most High is not preparing you for another chapter. He is preparing you for a removal. And that removal begins now. It all shifts within the next 24 hours. The confusion, the isolation, the feeling that nothing is connecting the way it used to you, need to understand something before we go any further. It is not ending because the season ran out. It is ending because you passed a test you did not even know you were taking. Think back to that moment this week when you pulled back. Maybe you were in a room full of people and something inside you went quiet. Or perhaps you were in the middle of a conversation when you felt something rise in your chest, an inner knowing that this no longer belonged to you. You thought you were shutting down. You thought something was wrong with you. You did not know it then, but that withdrawal was not isolation. It was consecration. You did not drift away from your purpose. You were being separated for it. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm did not surface it for you. God did. This is a divine appointment that was written before the foundations of the earth. You are not merely stumbling across a video, you are standing at the threshold of your own removal. Stay until the final second of this message, because in the next few minutes I am going to show you the exact spiritual pattern God used with Enoch and why that same pattern is active in your life right now. I am going to name the specific lie the enemy has been using to make your separation feel like punishment. And at the end, I am going to give you the declaration that seals this transition and silences the accuser's case against your identity forever. Do not scroll past this. The version of you that has been praying in the darkness for clarity, this is the moment that prayer is answered. If you leave before the verdict, you leave before the release. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. There has been a weight in the atmosphere that you cannot trace back to any one source. It is not exactly sadness. It is not exactly anxiety. It is heavier than both, like the pressure you feel right before something breaks open. Maybe you caught yourself sitting alone this week, not because you had to, but because being around people felt like wearing a coat that no longer fit. Or perhaps you woke up at 3:0 inches the morning and the room felt charged, as though something were present, as though something were ending. You lay there in the darkness, trying to understand whether you were being left behind or being led forward. You feel suspended between a life that no longer fits and a life that has not fully materialized, between the person others remember you being and the person you are becoming in private. And in that suspension, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie. He is pointing to the distance between you and the people you were once close to. He is pointing to the rooms you no longer enter. He is pointing to the conversations that dried up, the invitations that stopped coming, and the version of your life that went quiet without warning. He is telling you that the silence is evidence of abandonment. He is telling you that God removed the people, the platforms, and the momentum because something you did made you unworthy of what was promised. But I need you to hear what Scripture actually says about this moment. Genesis 5:24 says, "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." Listen to the weight of that declaration. He was not. God did not merely bless Enoch in the place where people knew him. God removed him entirely. And that removal was not a punishment. It was a promotion so profound that the only way to accomplish it was to take him out of the world that had defined him. The enemy wants you to interpret your removal as rejection. He wants you to look at the silence and call it failure. He wants you to look at the people who fell away and call it loss. But that is a deception designed to make you crawl back into a room God has already closed. You are not being abandoned, you are being taken. The distance you feel from your old life is not evidence that you failed. It is evidence that God has already moved you beyond what those rooms were built to contain. The heaviness you feel is not the weight of shame. It is the weight of transition. It is the sensation of being lifted out of one dimension and held above the next. The cord is not breaking because you fell. It is breaking because the ground beneath you was never your destination. You think your withdrawal was weakness. You think the silence was failure. You think walking away from those conversations, those circles, and those former versions of yourself means something went wrong. But let me reframe your reality right now. That was not a retreat, that was a rapture. Some messages do not merely inform, they activate. If something just stirred deep within your spirit, let it settle. What I am about to walk you through is not simply a theological concept, it is a map. And if you have been feeling what I described in these opening moments, that unnamed heaviness, that sacred suspension between who you were and who you are becoming, then this map was drawn for you. The first thing you need to understand is that God does not merely change your direction, He changes your address. There is a profound, life-altering difference between a person who is merely redirected and a person who is utterly relocated. Redirection, though often necessary, implies a course correction within an existing framework. You were going the wrong way, perhaps traveling down a familiar road, and He simply turned you around to face the right path. It was an adjustment within the same spiritual geography. But relocation means something far more radical. It means He has lifted you entirely out of the limiting terrain, the restrictive environment, and the very atmosphere that was stifling what He intricately placed inside you. This is not merely a new path. It is a new place, a new spiritual ecosystem designed for your flourishing. Think of Enoch, who did not simply change his ways or alter his route. He was not redirected. He was supernaturally relocated, taken by God into an entirely different dimension of existence. And what you are experiencing right now, this profound internal upheaval and external shift, is not a minor course correction. It is a relocation in progress, a divine transfer from one spiritual address to another, far grander one. The confusion you feel, and the disorientation that sometimes threatens to overwhelm you, are not signs that you have missed something vital or taken a wrong turn. That confusion is the natural, often overwhelming sensation of moving through spiritual geography you have never traveled before. A landscape of purpose and potential that is utterly new to your soul. It is like a compass spinning wildly as it recalibrates to a new magnetic pole, or like a seasoned sailor navigating uncharted waters where the stars themselves appear in different constellations. You are a pioneer in your own spiritual story, stepping onto ground where your feet have never walked before. And the very air you breathe is being charged with a different kind of divine energy. This is a profound shift, a complete uprooting from the familiar so that you can be planted in fertile, uncharted soil. Just as Abraham was told, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." In Genesis 12:1, your relocation is not merely about going somewhere. It is about leaving behind everything that defined your previous limitations. But here is where it goes deeper, touching the very core of your being. Relocation does not merely change where you are going or the scenery around you. It fundamentally changes what you are able to carry. Before God can move you into the next dimension of your assignment, into the vastness of the new address He has prepared, He must deal with the weight you have been unconsciously dragging into every room you enter, every conversation you have, and every opportunity you consider. I am not talking about the weight of sin, which Christ has already borne for us. I am not referring to the weight of failure, which grace readily covers. No, I am speaking about the weight of identity. This is the accumulated burden of the version of yourself that you meticulously built to survive the last season. The version that learned to smile through unimaginable pain, to make yourself smaller, to preserve a fragile peace, and to perform tirelessly for rooms that were never going to truly see or celebrate what God placed inside you. That provisional survivalist version of you was necessary in its time. It served a purpose. It acted as a spiritual shield in hostile environments. But now, considering where you are going and the magnitude of the calling being activated within you, that version of you is simply too small. It is an old wineskin that cannot contain the new wine God is pouring into your life, as described in Mark 2:22. And God, in His profound and relentless mercy, has been quietly and sometimes painfully dismantling it. This dismantling is not intended to destroy you. It is meant to deliver you from the self-made architecture that was unintentionally keeping you contained, confined, and unable to expand fully into the vastness of your divine blueprint. He is not breaking you. He is breaking off everything that was restricting you. Like a sculptor chipping away the excess marble to reveal the masterpiece hidden within, God is removing what has concealed your true form. This process often feels like an unraveling, like losing your grip on the person you thought you were. But it is actually a divine unburdening, preparing your spirit for the lightness and freedom required to soar into your true purpose. Think about that pivotal, life-altering moment when Moses stood before the burning bush. He had spent 40 long, arduous years in the silent and humbling wilderness, far from the palaces of Egypt, meticulously building a new identity as a simple, unassuming shepherd. He believed he had finally found his place, a quiet corner where he could simply exist after the catastrophic collapse of his